Have you ever wondered if hard work alone can change your destiny? Millions of Indians ask this every day. We hear stories of Chaiwala's sons becoming CEOs and movies where the poor hero becomes rich. These stories give us hope, but are they the norm or the exception? For every person who climbs, how many are left behind wondering what went wrong? The dream of a better life drives parents to save for education and youth to migrate to cities. Yet, many remain trapped in the same jobs as their parents, unable to break free. The gap between dreams and reality is vast, filled with silent struggles. Is hard work enough? Is education the magic key? Or are there invisible walls, caste, class, birthplace, that hold people back? To understand if Indians can truly climb the social ladder, we must be honest about these barriers. This essay explores not just the celebrated success stories, but also the silent struggles. We'll look at data, policies, and the real ground situation. Can someone from a small village truly make it big in a city? Can education break the chains of caste? The answer is complex, layered, and full of contradictions. This is a story of hope and despair, progress and stagnation, all at once. What is social mobility? Simply put, it's the ability to move up in society. Imagine society as a building with many floors. Can you move from the ground floor to the top? Intergenerational mobility compares your life to your parents. Did you get a better job, more education, higher income? Intragenerational mobility is about your own journey. Did you rise from a low-paying job to a senior position? Both types show if society rewards effort and talent or keeps people stuck where they started. In India, the picture is mixed. Some climb, many don't. Stories of success exist, but so do stories of people stuck for generations. To understand the real situation, we must look beyond individual stories. How easy is it for most people to move up? Is the ladder accessible to all or just a lucky few? This is where the simple idea of mobility meets India's complex reality. The real question, who gets to climb and who is left behind? In India, the ladder of social mobility stands on uneven ground. The deepest divide is caste. For centuries, birth decided your fate. Despite legal bans, caste still shapes opportunity. Your surname can open or close doors. Dominant castes own most of the nation's wealth. Dalits and Adivasis are left with little. Even with education, marginalized groups face discrimination at every step. Then comes the village-city divide. Over half of India lives in rural areas with poor schools, basic healthcare, and few jobs. For many, the social ladder isn't even visible. They must migrate to cities just to find it. But cities bring new struggles. No support, low-wage jobs, and harsh living conditions. Economic class is another barrier. The rich get the best education and jobs. The poor struggle for survival. Private tuitions and expensive colleges are out of reach for most. Caste, class, and geography together form a triple barrier. For many, social mobility is a distant dream. The odds are stacked from birth. Education is seen as the great equalizer in India, a way to break free from caste and poverty. Parents sacrifice everything for their children's education, hoping for a better future. For some, this dream comes true. Education opens doors to top jobs and new lives. We celebrate stories of those who rise from nothing to become doctors, engineers, or civil servants. But for every success, thousands are left behind. The education system itself is deeply unequal. Village schools lack teachers and basic facilities. Elite city schools have every advantage. The race is unfair from the start. Higher education is even harder to access. Limited seats, high fees, and expensive coaching. The rich stay at the top. The poor get left behind. Education, meant to be an escape, often reinforces old inequalities. For many, the classroom's promise is broken by a divided, underfunded system. The escape route leads to a dead end for most. Cities promise opportunity, drawing millions from villages every year. New industries and service jobs have created a path to the middle class for some. Young people from small towns can now dream of air-conditioned offices and steady salaries. For many, the city means freedom from old social structures and a chance to reinvent themselves. But this bright picture hides a harsher reality. Most migrants end up in informal jobs, construction, delivery, domestic work, with low pay and no security. They live in crowded slums, struggling for basic needs. The gig economy offers flexibility but little protection. No minimum wage, no benefits. For many, the city is not a ladder but a treadmill, running hard just to stay afloat. A small island of prosperity exists in a vast ocean of struggle. Urbanization brings hope, but also new forms of inequality. The job market maze is hard to navigate for most. The promise of the city remains out of reach for millions. India's government has tried to level the playing field with reservations in jobs and education for marginalized groups. This policy has helped many, creating a visible middle class among Dalits and Adivasis. But reservations aren't a magic bullet. Benefits often go to the better off, and the private sector isn't covered. Other schemes like scholarships and loans help, but are often hampered by corruption and delays. So, what's the way forward? We need massive investment in public education. Good schools for every child everywhere. Teachers must be trained, infrastructure improved, and learning focused on real skills. The economy must create good jobs for all, not just a few. Support for small businesses, vocational training, and digital skills is crucial. Social safety nets must protect the most vulnerable. Building a more mobile society requires effort from government, business, and citizens alike. The real question, are we willing to make the ladder strong and accessible for everyone? Is India ready to change for the better? That's a question for us all.